Welcome back to CES. My name's James True. I'm here with Engadget, and I'm also here with Brad Schmidt as Creative Director of GoPro. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
How's it going? So when did you guys get into Vegas?
I just got into Vegas last night, actually.
All right, so GoPro's been here all through the show.
Yeah,
right?
we have. We got a phenomenal booth that's just right down over here in Central Hall, and I mean, you're going to see all the content that we create, all the new products, everything from studio to Wi-Fi displays to everything.
So you've been at GoPro for quite a while now, right?
I have,
you are
yeah.
like, is it fair to say one of the original members?
I probably guess you could say that.
So do you have like a Google system where you get a number? So like you're number 2.
I think it was around 12 officially, or somewhere around there, between 12 and 20.
Okay, and everyone I've ever spoke to at GoPro does't just like fill out a job application and turn up at GoPro. They kind of, we were in Bali, and so tell me, how did you join GoPro?
I actually met Nick. He had a very rough prototype of the product, which was basically a broken surf leash that he'd taken a set of rubber bands and he'd put a Kodak camera, like a disposable one, the ones that you had to go to the pharmacy, you'd give it to him.
24 hours,
yeah, exactly.
1 hour photos.
Of course, that was only a couple years ago, which is wild to think about, right? Yeah, he had one of those, and I actually had an underwater camera as well, one of Canon's first underwater cameras, and we met on a ferry, one of those old wooden like chicken ferries. It was just Indonesians and us.
So this is in Indonesia, right?
Yeah, this is in Sumatra. It was going out to a really remote set of islands called the Mentawais, and this was 2001, 2002 maybe. And I was traveling myself, and I think what's so cool about it is Nick was very passionate, and I was very passionate about getting content, like creating getting pictures, getting shots. It was things that you saw other things, you saw magazines, or you saw other people with great surfing photography, and we'd never had that of ourselves. And so that was kind of is what brought us together, that passion for photography and creating art. And then we ended up, as you do when you travel, you travel with somebody for a couple months, and then afterwards he said, I think I'm going to give this a go. Like, I'm going to go try and create a wrist strap company. And it was like, all right, cool, we'll keep in touch. Good luck. And then, flash forward, I think I was, I kept in touch with him. He was always sending me prototypes, which I would test out and shoot and then give him feedback on. And then I think I was at the first ASR. That was back when there was an action sports retailer in San Diego. And we did the first booth there, and then it's just kind of gone on from that point. And then when we had 2009 was the first HD camera, GoPro HD. And that,
was it a Hero then? Or
yeah,
was it,
the Hero. Yeah, the Hero HD, and it's the one that just propelled it. It went from a company of 6 or 7 with a bunch of us that were kind of working as friends to then suddenly moving up to San Francisco and working full time, and just exploded.
Because many people will know GoPro through the Hero 2, these sort of products, but they won't actually know that some of the original GoPros were just still photos, right? So they were just kind of wrist cameras, click, and you're getting your ace shot, but these weren't video cameras originally. No,
they weren't. The first video camera was actually, it was not even like 240 pixels, and it took it for 10 seconds. That was the very first video camera.
Right, well that would be great for Vine. This is kind of, you were ahead of your time with this.
We were way ahead. Yeah, exactly. It's known for, I think GoPro's really well known for the video. Obviously we create incredible content with the video, but it takes phenomenal pictures still, and that's something that I think people forget in a way, because the video is so incredible, but the photos are something else.
As we're talking about video, we've got some of these are the, this didn't come out of the show, did it? It came out really recently, just in October, I think fall, sometime like this. So this is the Hero 3 Plus.
Yeah.
So the brief sort of recap is very similar to the Hero 3 from last year, but we've got a couple of new shooting modes. What else is new?
Yeah, I think, there's the shooting modes. You've got like 2.7K medium, which is really great. The ability, it's a 4K sensor, so being able to, use that 4K sensor, 1080-60 looks phenomenal in it, because it does that oversampling, and I think the 3 Plus is an improvement on the product that we had. I think much as a lot of the consumer electronics, you release a product that's like, wow, and then you kind of release an improved version, and so I think that's what the 3 Plus really is. And it has the new Wi-Fi chip in here is really incredible. It's got about 4 times as fast. The battery, which I notice a lot.
Right.
I mean, when you're out, you know, whatever activity you're doing, a lot of times with a Hero 3, the hard part was it would only last for about an hour and a half. The standby mode on this, I can go out and surf for like 3 hours. And if you're not recording, it'll go into a standby mode, and really the battery lasts for so much longer.
The battery is definitely a big deal for these sort of things, especially because if you're going to be away, you're up on a pea story or something like this, you can't be changing batteries and stuff like this. But I mean, we've heard a little bit about some of the new features. I know we've got some footage from the camera that we're going to see. This is, if I understand, it's taken from the sort of the promo video for the product, but it's all shot with the camera, right?
Yes, it is.
And it's actually kind of one of my favorite parts of the video. I know what it is. So I think we're going to roll the video now if we can, and then we're going to talk about it straight away afterwards, okay?
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be back after the clip.
Oh. Hello again. Hello, my boy. Hello, my boy. Hello, my boy. Hello, my boy. Hey, Zama. Hey, Zama. Hey, Zama. Hello, my boy. Have you had a nice time in ya? Hey? Have you had a nice time? Yeah? This is fantastic. Hey, Zama.
Right, so anyone who hadn't seen that already has got to admit that that's pretty amazing, right?
Yeah.
That's, like I say, I've seen that clip like a whole bunch of times. It's my wife's most favorite GoPro footage ever. We've seen like that a million times. I know she's watching, so she'll be loving that. Like, tell us, how did you? This is Kevin, the lion whisperer.
Yeah, Kevin Richardson. He's a lion whisperer. Had done a lot of research. You know, I think we've been a major action sports company. I think that's our roots, right? It's an activity camera. But for this launch, we wanted to really do something, different, something that people hadn't seen. You know, there was the eagle video that had come out. There's, we'd done one with vultures. There's one we done with orangutans, and then this one with the lions. It was an idea to try and capture unique content that no one had ever seen before. And I think animals, they fascinate me, anyways. And to have that on Kevin, who has a very special relationship with lions, and then we were able to also take one of these chesties and actually put a camera on a lion as you're seeing it crawl through the prairie, and that's incredible footage that I've never seen before, and I think that's what's so attractive about what this camera can do.
So Kevin's got like, I'm guessing he's got some kind of belt with a pole, so like a Go pole or something like this, so that he's getting a third-person perspective.
Yeah, I think it's called Sales Systems Video, and there's a bunch of amazing, like, you talk about Go pole and everything. It's such a DIY camera, you know. It's like, we've created something that you have all these other ancillary products that come out that are like, this is an amazing product, let's create something that you haven't ever seen before. And I think that's what's so beautiful about it. You know, you're going to see, whether it's Sales Systems Video comes out with a belt and a, amazing backpack mount that'll keep it in this kind of third person.
Or the crazy, what's that one? Is it a buffalo?
Yeah, it's a
rhino. Sorry,
rhino.
mount.
It's like a spinning mount, right?
Yeah, which is, I think it looks ridiculous when you're wearing it, right?
But, it's incredibly ridiculous.
But it takes amazing sort of shots. I read something that's kind of summed up GoPro, and I really like the idea. They were saying that a normal photographer, they go out and they hunt for. They sort of like take pictures and they set it up.
Yeah.
Whereas with GoPro, you kind of trap it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of like that idea that you've got this thing, like, it's like a net, but like a video net. You kind of sweep up all this amazing life experience that you can take.
That's exactly what it is. And the difference of, I think Nick described it best of reactive versus proactive capturing. And like you're saying, we call it the golden trapper. Like, who gets the shot, right?
All right.
And the question, I mean, between all of us in the media department, it's always like, oh, who's got the shot? Because it's really about like imagining something in your mind and then placing the camera in the right place, and it's a proactive thing. You know what you want to get, but you have enough of these cameras. I mean, the way that it's not $3,000 for a camera; it's only $400 for a camera. So it's like you can have multiple cameras in one scene. like with Kevin in the lines, I had 1, 2, 3 cameras during that whole scene, but it happened to be this camera that was the best shot of them all. But you know, the coolest part is you can do something and use a bunch of cameras to try and make it happen, and it's one of them is gonna come out. So it's like, yeah, you're right. You're waiting. You're trapping that shot.
I remember I was speaking with Nick Woodman about this same topic really, and I sort of asked him. I said, "Oh well, of course it's all about the camera, right?" And he sort of jumped in and said, "Well, no, actually, like it's as much about the accessories because really like the camera you can work on that and it's a great product and you can have solid vision, but that's no good if all you can do with it is hold it, right?
Right.
So you've got all these things like these gooseneck, the claw. It's kind of these all allow a whole new perspective that you would never be able to do with anything else. So the accessories are almost as important, right? Because they're allowing a perspective that you wouldn't be able to get with any other camera. Yeah,
exactly. And a lot of it's due to, you know, this tiny form factor. The form factor of the camera allows you to. This is a new one. This is a hat clip.
Right, and the belt. It goes on the belt as well.
And it goes on the belt. You can you know attach it to anything. A lot of times when you're running around, like I run around at Christmas with my 2-year-old niece, and a lot of times I'm just taking this and I'll put it in my mouth. And
but there is you do a dedicated mouth grip as well, don't you?
Well, it's something that we make actually out of the head strap. I just kind of use a little bit of padding and some tape. We haven't officially come out with a mouth mount, but it's something that I'm sure we're thinking about, you know.
And if in terms of things that you're also thinking about, was I right in hearing there might be collaborations that you're considering?
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, we have so many people that love the product and really want to collaborate with us. So, you know, as far as that goes, there's a huge engineering department, and there's a lot of R&D that goes on between, you know, the different companies and you know, how we can help or how they can help us. And
is there anything you can share with us about what might be coming up in terms of these collaborations?
There's nothing that I could really say at the moment. But I know that we have we did a DJI. You know, you've seen those obviously you've seen the little quadcopters.
There's some of them out in the car park here.
Yeah, I think, we use those on all. You know, you're gonna see it through the Hero 3 Plus reel. We use DJIs almost for all those shots. Those are incredible ones, and you know, we've obviously had tons of meetings with them to try and make sure that our products match really well together. So I think that's a cool collaboration that we've had in the past.
And because I was speaking with a colleague, he had been out with Corvette. He's had one of the best jobs that there are here at CES, and they've been doing, I think it's Corvette or Chevy, had done some, the car now records your like performance. So you can go out on the track and it'll like do your acceleration and all this, record all these metrics.
Yeah.
And he was saying, you got to ask the guys at GoPro. Is there a way that they could like collaborate with these guys so you can film on the car and overlay all this stuff?
Yeah, I think that's definitely stuff that we're thinking about.
Right. So is that with a sort of teasing question mark?
Yeah. No, I think as always we're incredibly progressive. You've seen us jump from a camera that was 1080/30, 720/60, and then all of a sudden, you know, 2 years later, we're jumping to, you know, going with a 4K sensor that goes an amazing 2.7K 30 and 720/120. So you're going to see in the future, it's exponential. You know, the Wi-Fi capability of the camera that it has now. So there's a lot. I think in the roadmap ahead, you're going to see a lot of great improvements.
Well, this is the thing, because obviously 4K is already in the GoPro, the 3 and 3 Plus, at a reduced frame rate currently, isn't it?
Yes.
Which I understand is a technical limitation from the sort of the processor. That's it's not that you can't don't want to do it. It's just it's not really sort of realistic right now. And I imagine it's going to melt the battery as well if you're running.
We wanted to get 24 so badly with it. We tried for ages, and it just didn't quite work on this version due to the limitation of the processor. But you know, I think obviously it's in the future. Yeah.
And how realistic? I mean, could we put a roadmap on these sort of things? Or I mean, I know you're kind of beholden to someone else's technology at this level, sort of thing. So it's pretty difficult.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, again, I could never divulge a specific date or a product, but you know, it's something that obviously, you know, it's a 4K sensor that's in the camera, so it's something that's on our minds.
What do you think it is though that keeps GoPro way ahead, like miles ahead of the many competitors that you guys have got?
You know what? It's a really good question. I think, to tell you the absolute truth, I think it's that we are a lot of very passionate geeks. To be totally honest, like we love what we do. You know, we're not essentially we're making a product like all of these. You know, whether this is this junior chesty right here. I put it on orangutans, or tried to put it on orangutans.
Right, which is also in the same. If you go and watch on YouTube and look up the GoPro website, I guess as well. If you look up the promo video, you'll see the whole thing, which has the orangutans in it, right?
Right. But you know, I think a lot of this this idea came from Nick running around with his 2-year-old. You know, and that
did he have a regular chesty but kind of buckled up at the back, or something like this?
Right. Yeah. We had to kind of like modify, make it smaller for his kid. So it's like. The coolest part about GoPro is between Nick and everybody at the company is like we're really making products for us. You know, we're so passionate about what it is that we do. You know, whether this is like going to be used on a guitar or playing music or anything. As we explore different things besides, you know, action sports, or Nick has a kid. He's like, man, I'd love to have this for my kid. I'd love to see what Hugo, his little boy, sees when he's running around. You know,
it's because I was speaking with a competitor. I won't name them I asked him. I said, "Oh, do you think?" Obviously, it's a big issue for them because it's such a weird market where GoPro is so dominant. It's like 99%, and then everything else. So I mean, I don't know the official numbers, but these are good guys, and these are also sort of passionate. But I was like, do you think GoPro's reached that Xerox moment where you don't say, "I'm going to photocopy something"? You kind of Xerox it, and the people just think of these things, all of them now, as it's a GoPro. That's what it is. It's become a dictionary now.
Right.
Do you think we're at that stage yet? They certainly seem to think that we were.
Yeah, I think it's a very fortunate thing if we are. I personally love competition. I think it's really healthy. So you know, I welcome. Oh, go ahead.
We're just saying that obviously. You're pretty happy to be in that dominant position, but I think, unfortunately, we've run out of time.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to have to wrap up. Thanks a lot for coming. It's
absolutely.
been a pleasure to speak with you.